It was Thursday evening, just before going to play football myself with the lads over Power League. First game back in a long time, Pards.
Bit rusty.
No, felt good.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it felt good.
Agile.
Not necessarily agile, but definitely the touch control and the vision.
Because as a big man, your touch has got to be good, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Because you ain't going to like sprint 2 or 3 yards to get it back. No.
It's just like even during that game.
I've managed people like you in the past, and I know.
What kind of names? I want names. What kind of players do you think of?
What kind of? Well, Andy Carroll was a player that if he's touched, if you went away from him, it was gone.
Yeah.
He was so big, and I wouldn't say he was cumbersome, but his touch needed to be solid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Big shoulder Amiobi was the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not doing any tracking back either.
No.
Even the lads are like,
they much.
Yeah, lads can't get.
Do you defend set plays, by the way?
Yeah.
Bring your back, big man.
I'll
edit out.
Big back. I'm happy for
Very
that.
important that for a striker.
100%.
Do that wrong.
But and I was on 90 minutes sleep, so I said, look, first game back and 90 minutes sleep. There's no tracking back tonight.
Oh, what do you mean 90 minutes sleep?
I had 90 minutes sleep.
What? The whole night? That's all you had? 90 minutes?
I finished at the club. I went home. I slept for 90 minutes. Got up, went to the airport, and then.
Well, if there's any young viewers listening in, that is not the preparation that you would have for a game of football.
No.
Ridiculous behaviour.
And in
sleep, man.
And in fairness, I did have a bit of like a sort of PTSD of when I did my knee last, and I kind of went through the night from my beef and came and played football on the same Thursday, and I thought I better be careful.
Here we go.
So I did stretch, did a lot of stretching before I played, at least.
Yeah, okay.
But we won against some my team and a few of the older boys in, and we beat the youngsters. And I told them afterwards, football's played up here, lads.
Mm.
So yeah, before that happened, I got a message that read open, Daniel Levy steps down from chairman role at Spurs.
Shock.
You know those when you get the messages sometimes, and we've all had them on WhatsApp, yeah? And you play the video, and all of a sudden, it's that noise. You know the noise, don't you? I don't need to do the noise.
The uncomfortable noise.
It's an uncomfortable noise for everyone hearing it. You could be in public, and all of a sudden, you could be at home in front of the wife and kids, the husband, whoever, and the noise comes on, and they're like, what are you up to? I thought it'd be one of those. It wasn't. It was a genuine article that Daniel Levy had stepped down as chairman. I had phone calls here. Our gaffer, Ian, called me. Imagine coming on the show. I said, look, I'm playing football first, but afterwards I'll be on. I'm joining Natalie Sawyer and Courtney Sweetman-Kirk to talk about it. Then we did a special Tottenham Inside Spurs podcast, which you can watch on the talkSPORT YouTube now. Inside Spurs, yeah? Go check it out. Me and Sonny Snelling talking about Daniel Levy leaving Tottenham Hotspur. Were you shocked?
You're an expert on it then?
I'm an expert. I'm well-versed in it. And if I'm honest, of all the things that I've seen unfold at Spurs in recent times, part of the timeline that somebody told me a while ago, it's all unravelling.
Okay.
Now, the moment...
In a positive way or a negative way?
In a positive, to the point of what we've seen so far.
Okay.
Now, I think it was Donna Cullen who stepped down first. And then after that, it was like there was almost a domino effect. For me personally, as soon as I saw, and I think it was... whether it was Simon Jordan or somebody else on his station said when they saw Vinay join Spurs, I straight away thought that's not going to work with him and Levy. They're two big characters, and that wouldn't work. So it looked to me there was a bit of a changing of the guard.
Yeah.
What do you make of it? Did you see it coming? And have you dealt with Daniel Levy personally?
Well, I have personally dealt with Daniel Levy over the sale of Darren Bent from Charlton to Spurs.
Okay. Tell us more.
Well, the owner wanted me to be in the room, which I was a bit uncomfortable about being the manager, because obviously I had ambitions one day of maybe being the Spurs manager. So I don't really want to upset the Spurs chairman, do
Correct.
I? Sitting in there, giving it large. But I did. I had to sit in there.
Is that something that's often done when they bring the manager in?
No, really rare. I don't know. I don't even know why it kind of. It sort of got to the stage where we're all going to meet up. Myself, Daniel, you're going to come. Darren Bent's representative. Sorry, obviously Darren wasn't there to try and hammer out a deal.
Is it because they think that Parde's a bit handy? Bit of backup?
Let me just say that I know the owner definitely used me because I was very much against him going. I knew it would be, a massive problem, and I needed every penny. We've been relegated, and the reason we got relegated because we've done a brilliant job of almost staying up.
And then he was injured
because he was injured, right? Yeah. So I knew how important he was, but the money was essential. We were potless at Charlton at that time. We had bills to pay. All those contracts where you got installments, like for next year, et cetera, So all of our money from parachute money was almost gone out the door anyway. So we needed the money. I was going, no, more. And I could see Daniel Levy looking at me as if say, got your number.
Well, he hasn't got your number because you never got your legacy number. So he hasn't actually got your number.
He never actually ever rung me. He never rung me since. So it didn't go. It obviously didn't go down well. But my behaviour was very much as Charlton manager. So that was who I was representing, and I did my best.
Can we like reenact it now on air? Like I'll be Daniel Levy and you be Pardew.
Well, I never actually had to say anything to him because the owner kept saying to me, "Let's go out the room, Alan." And when I went out the room, I was saying, "No more. Let's go back in. No more. Get 3-4 million more out of him. Come on, let's go."
And did you get them more?
We actually did get a lot more than he was offering initially, a lot more.
He probably offered 2.
And I see actually Simon Jordan did a piece in the Times today about his style, about Daniel Levy's style of like going in low and then pecking low, not like jumping it big, like just keep pecking low, so you're really not going anywhere. Do you know what I mean? So it was a bit like that. So I can ratify Simon's opinion. I would say that he was brilliant for Spurs in so many ways, which has obviously been documented. You'll have your own opinions, and I'm sure they follow that. On the playing side, from my perspective, all the owners that I work with always in awe of him, of the job he had done. In the trade, at that level, he's at very, very high esteem, as you'd imagine, one of the very best. And unfortunately for him, even though he brought in big name managers, they never really got the team to where they wanted it to go. And there obviously was some friction between Mourinho and him, and obviously Conte even more so. Conte almost forced himself out of the job, didn't he? So
I also feel in that year, Conte had a lot of personal stuff going on, a lot of death around him, unfortunately. And I feel like he looked like someone that needed a bit of support, to be honest with you. It was a high-pressured environment.
Well, people forget that about football managers. Yeah, they do need support on occasions.
He lost. We lost our head of fitness coach, who was a good friend of his.
Yeah.
And then I think Gianluca Vialli unfortunately passed away as well, good friend of his as well. So, I was actually gutted when Conte went. I really liked him. And when he did that famous rant about the players and like they don't want to work under pressure, they don't want to. He just basically said everything that as fans we'd seen. But with Daniel Levy, it's been such a strange sort of outburst of emotions from different sections of the fan base, because people are having parties. There's other people, saying be careful what you wish for. It just feels like his tenure has been very split down the middle of what people feel Spurs should have done. But
I think, you only got to turn up the stadium and go, wow, okay. I mean, that's got to be, that's the first impression you have of that football club, or go to the training ground and then go, wow, oh, okay. Well, there are some things that he's done unbelievably well. The one policy that I don't know, is it Joe Lewis?
Yes.
Right, who does the majority share and he runs it through his trust, etc., etc. But I think he's still a massive voice behind the scenes.
Well, according to Harry Redknapp, who was on Breakfast with Gabby and Alan, it sounded like in his time, it felt like Joe Lewis made the final calls.
I think Joe Lewis, as far as I was concerned, I always assumed he was the big boss and Daniel was running the show, but Joe had the last say. That's, I think, how it worked. I mean, that could be wrong, but I assumed that's how it worked. Whether that policy of young players, not really going for a big hitter at prime age, like for example, this Harry Kane story about maybe coming back. Would you take him back?
Absolutely. You're right. German football
32.
German football expert Raphael Honigstein, I think is how you say it, thinks Bayern Munich and Harry Kane will have to make a decision over the striker's future very soon. He believes he could return to the Premier League.
Because I think at the end of next year, he'll have 1 year left.
Yeah.
And it makes sense to sell him, actually.
Well, apparently we have a £54 million buyback clause. Now, Harry Kane at 30 odd, whatever he'd be, 33, 34.
So Daniel Levy would never do that deal?
No way.
So is this new structure going to be like, if that could win us the league, if that could win us a trophy, let's take
I just think straight away from a commercial value as well, Harry Kane coming back to Tottenham Hotspur, the shirt sales, etc. and that, it'd probably cover most of that from commercial stuff.
I'm gonna put this into one kind of like box, and the box being the World Cup. If he doesn't have a very good World Cup, then that wouldn't be the case.
Yes.
If he had an unbelievable World Cup, what if he won it? Then it would be completely different.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk more about
that's
Kane.
How that, and you've got to remember, the football careers, that's how quickly it can change. We know that. You know, you can be in the first team scoring 2, 3 goals, 4 goals, injured, then you're out, you don't play again for the rest of the season. So, you know, a lot of players, you know, when they go on strike and stuff like that, you have to remember that some players do have the history of their friends or colleagues or their agents do, of players who this has happened to. Things have gone wrong, like Gay, he misses out on that transfer to Liverpool. What happens if he gets injured at Christmas? A cruciate, for example, leaves him in a terrible position. So there are, that is the other side of it.
It's a gamble.
It is a gamble.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.